rescue, revamp, create. The art of drum synthesis. The new course is available at Letsynthesize Academy.
Yo, Dan Larson here, welcome to the newest Synthesize Sunday episode. And today I want to show you what I learned when I tried to analyze Fred Against and Skrillex's collab to this little copycat beat I made. By now I guess you know that you can grab this whole project from my Patreon below, and guess what, I have an awesome academy where you can download very cool start to finish courses, and I just released a nice drum synthesis course, but right now let's jump into it. Yo, so here is this little copycat beat once again. Right, so when I listen to the beat of that song, I love the clap and this little thing. So how it plays along with the clap, that isn't really a clap. I really love that, and I was like, I want to sound like that. I want to grab that sound, but it was so hard because I was thinking in claps. Kill the kick under the clap. So it sounds a lot more than a clap. To me, honestly, it sounds more like a snare, very heavily filtered. This percussion is maybe another snare, very heavily filtered snare. So I came up with this little beat. And how I started is I took a snare and processed it. So this is the snare that I use. It's a regular dubstep snare. And I dropped it into sampler, or simpler, sorry. And I chopped off the tail of that. I used a frequency shifter and very heavy EQing to focus on the clappy frequency, because claps always sound very heavy in the mids, so like from 1K to about 5K. So this is why I chopped off the very highs and tried to focus a little more on the 1K or 2K area. Now it's a little noisy, but if you don't like it, you can always EQ it. So this is a very heavy EQing, because without the EQ, it sounds almost like a snare. So this is why it is important to chop off the very highs. And maybe a little cut at around 4K. And the cool thing here is that because these dubstep snares have very heavy transients, the clap will automatically have that very cool transient also, but without the low end. And this will make a very nice blend between a clap and a snare sound. And with the frequency shifter, you can find a color that you really like, and maybe it could be a good idea to put one shifter before and after EQing. This is a little closer to the Skrillex and Fred Again version. Okay, now the next thing is that percussion sound. And to me, honestly, it sounds like a blend of a hi-hat and again a filtered or a processed snare sound. Okay, so what I did, it is very unusual, so I went to the snare, as I called it, and I used a vocoder for that. So without the vocoder, it's just a snare. The process is very similar to it, like I used a shifter, then very heavy EQing. It looks almost the same than previously, saturator and another shifter, but this time I use a ring modulation after the process and the vocoder to make it like very different than we used to have before. And I used this noise for the vocoder carrier. After the vocoder, I had to clean it up a little using Soot, transient shipper, another EQ, had to play again with the frequency shifter and the saturator to the end. So the chain is pretty long, but it's just about the vocoder and some EQing and the frequency shifter to find the sweet spot that you really like here. So now we are getting a lot closer to what we had, to our reference, the Skrillex and Fred Again reference. playing with the vocoder, especially with the vocoder's bandwidth. So with this thing, you can create very, very cool sounds. We can add the Redux after that to create some weird high frequencies, because I said that I think that this sound is layered with a hi-hat. But what if we just use a Redux after that? So such a cool sound. And again, you can play around with the transposition. And all together. Okay, so check the drum synthesis course here and grab the project from my Patreon with tons of other awesome stuff. See you guys next time. Peace.